Okay, so this is a beating the dead horse video about G4 TV and what went wrong, how things went wrong. But this is more about an analysis of um, how television executives and entertainment um, and the technology industry in general, they're just kind of, they missed the mark. They failed or didn't realize what they were doing, or the when G4 TV purchases Tech TV and goes out into the mass media market and is partnered up with the sports channels. So the only way you can get G4 TV is if you have the sports channels packages, which is the more expensive, uh, package deal for people. And along with that, G4 is slated in with the sports related male, whatever type of channels. And that right there was a big tip off that, no, this is incorrect, what should have been happening. Technology is not male orientated and it's not necessarily sports orientated. At the same time, it's the idea, the notion that male supremacy with women as objects, and that is that was always something that kind of rankled me. That I thought was just odd and strange, because it was this culture that unfortunately G4 was promoting and condoning, and you see that with different little things that different segments and skits that they were doing on the show, which it was okay if it was more humor related and as well as reflecting the technology and the social media online aspect, like things like the MySpace Girl of the Week. That was interesting. That was fascinating, and it was promoting using a social media norm or medium that everybody was involved in. The but to the point of just pure objectification of women, and then later on you see how with some of the hosts like Morgan Webb, they're put on Maxim for their segments of pictorials, um, you know, dress a certain way, makeup, posing and exposing a lot of the body, and it's like, okay, yes, there is that desire among some male fans and viewers, but that's not all the viewers, and that's also not who that person is, or like what, like X-Play and Attack of the Show, what those shows, screensavers I should say, like what those programs were about was the product, was the technology, the information, just so much that was, here's a lot of information that's going on, it's unfolding every day, and the show is presenting that to the audience. It's helping people be brought up to speed, caught up on what's happening. For myself, I was viewing Attack of the Show and X-Play on the same level as The Daily Show, because it's, here's the information, here's, things that are happening, here's the latest developments. That's what I appreciated, that's what I liked. And, the humor makes it palatable, makes it easier to digest. You know, you look forward to different segments as a result. And, by going for the lowbrow, like, they were undermining that. So, to get back to the objectification of women, it was the exclusion of the female market, a female audience, and treating women as sort of like, well, it's a byproduct, it's a side effect of the show and what we have going on, but we're really aiming for this lowbrow male 18 to 24 demographic and disposable income, which I kind of questioned and wondered about. It's they could have approached it or used the people you see and hear about on public television and public radio, who are basically, the people who talk about technology and advances in science. Those people should have been brought in and made as part of the creative directors of of the network as a whole. To give their influence, to give ideas of like, well, here's programming we should be talking about, or here's information we should be presenting to the public. And yeah, it's just step by step, the network went away from that direction. And as a result, step by step, the audience kept falling away, kept dropping away. And it's the executives failed to realize, failed to recognize that they were going the wrong direction. They were doing the wrong thing. And I think the reason why is because, well, you have a parent company deals in these multi-million-dollar deals, budgets, and G4 is like, well, they are this entity, and we're just going to trade and do whatever with them and treat them like the other products. But yeah, they didn't realize that, no, they needed to look at it more as a news network, as a education network. So yeah, and they had the opportunity to recognize that half the audience is going to be women, women who are interested in technology, and let's open up that world to them. They're going to these game and technology companies around the world, to these conventions, and pretty much every company there has a woman, either in a position of leadership or as one of the the laborers or workers, and they're able to talk about what they're doing, the projects they're engaged in, how they are helping the product go along. And it's disappointing when the female host or person who's interviewing, they're not really talking about that. They're not really engaging the person they're talking to, or they don't have the opportunity to have a separate segment where they're able to talk to the woman one-on-one, like, hey, so being a woman in this industry, what's your background, what's your history, what's your advice, recommendations, suggestions for other women. So it's something they're missing out on. And sorry to beat the dead horse on what was wrong with that G4 Tech TV, but yeah.